Great. Okay, so this is kind of a continuation of last time. I will do the career majors. So I need to spend a whole session on that, and I have a guest speaker that's an expert in the field. He used to work for USC, and he now does career consulting. I want to have him join me when I do that, so I'll do that session next time we meet. Okay, we're going to have a lot more guests in these sessions after session four. Well, session three. Session three is today. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let me share the Quinn's already put the, if I know Quinn right, she's already put the slides out there, or a PDF of the slides. So we go ahead and get started. March 29th, 2026, session number three. Again, you know how to stay in touch with us. There'll be a break in our newsletter. I got to figure out how to pick that up. We will pick it up shortly once Quinn and I figure out how to get that done. But we're going to pick it. But we do have a newsletter you can sign up for. You can still email the same place for now. You can email me. You got my team, Facebook, and there are other ways too. You guys probably know we have a YouTube channel that you can get to through the website, and we're on X, and I'm on Pinterest as well, I'm told, and Instagram. I always forget Instagram. If you go to our webpage, you'll be able to get to all our sites where we are. Give us a follow, get a hold of us there, and see what we're doing. There's the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, you'll want to do that, especially since we're going to have, since now we're over, thank you very much, 700 subscribers. We can now have a member section that have unique videos that you can get and information. But there's my Twitter handle. Okay, here's the things I want to talk about. April through August, what needs to be, and I think I need to talk about it a different way than I did last time. And so I will do that. I think it's going to be critical for 27 students with all the changes in the college admission process to actually pay attention to how you process that period. We're coming up here on April now. It's a good time to think about it, in my opinion. Okay. All about CSU and the UC and CSU. Yep, we're going to get into that. How does the Common Application work? When and how do I get started? How can we assist you in that process? And important things to do regarding the FAFSA. And I'll say a little bit about career major if I have time, leading us into the next session. If I don't, I'll drop that topic, just do it all next time. All right, here are things that should happen this summer. Here they are said a better way than I did last time. For all rising 12th grade students, I think strengthening your math and writing skills, maybe a 2-year college class. We do have an online partnership with Trade Tech. I believe we just got a site. Hey, Quinn, could you put that link in the chat? I believe you set up something for that.
Okay.
I'm right, right? Yeah, you did. You can look in the chat and pick up that link. There are lots of nice for college credit classes. By the way, college credit classes are a great alternative to AP classes. Okay, I think we take too many of those. I'll probably do a video on it shortly. I still think we're taking too many AP classes in certain schools, especially. And the counselors are telling you to do it. And I don't fully agree with that at all. One alternative is 2-year college classes. Complete the common application essay draft. It's optional depending on your GPA. Some of you may never need a common app who are here in this video or in this meeting because your GPA does not mitigate that you should have any common app schools. And if it does, you may just apply to all schools that aren't on the common app, like all the UCs. They're not on the common application, and nor are the selective CSUs for that matter. So you may never see a common app. I still see that people don't need the common app, but most people will need it. They'll have a school or two that does do it. Fall application FAFSA delivery. I mean, you got to start getting ready for that. This is something that all rising 12th grade students, and I should say, and their parents. Let me get this out of the way here. Hold on. Okay, there it is. It's gone. Okay, let's go on. All right, summer programs of interest. Well, of course, I'm biased, and I think our Summer Algebra Institute is a very, let me get that Sydney in here. I can be heard okay, right, Brianna?
Yes, you can. I can hear you
Very
well.
good. It's about this time last time. You know what? I shouldn't think about it, right?
That's true.
2026 CSU Summer Algebra Institute. I really should say Summer Bridge Program. We have a Summer Bridge Program. The SAI is a big part of it. We were awarded a grant. They cut down to only 3 churches that got the award. It was a high of 20 churches 10 years ago. And we were the only 3 churches selected to host the program because of our score increases the last 3 years. And we were competing against, a very large nonprofits in other parts of the state, as well as on the CSU campus, a lot of math departments. So we feel good about that. So we're having it again. It's a 6-week program, Monday through Thursdays, 1.5 hours. If the rising senior comes in, anyone actually, June 20th to August 1st, you register westaep.org. I believe that's up to, wow, Quinn, you've done a lot. I think it's up, right? I think it's up. So she'll put the link in the chat. She didn't say, but it is up, I think. And she'll put that link in there directly to it. I know we have eep.org there, Quinn. We'll put it directly to it. Strengthen your math skills. I think that's something you need to do. And I think that's true whether you are a STEM major or not. A lot of schools require a basic level of math. And if you were weak in math, that's the imp that will jump up from the bed and follow you to campus. And you'll have the same problems if you don't prepare for it this summer. And some of you are taking advanced math, pre-calc this year. Man, and you were getting like a B and a C in Algebra 2 or 2 Bs. It's a totally different class. You need to get ready to take pre-calc. You only have about what? 2, 4, 6, 8. I think it's 14, 13 or 14 in-person classes, plus a really good diagnostic for you to strengthen your skills in the background that you need to do well in pre-calc. We'll do online calculus prep for the 5th straight year if I can get at least 3 students. Last year we had 8. Would love to do a 2-week workshop for students that are getting ready to take calculus. Man, if I was taking calculus as a senior, I would take that workshop. If you're hearing me on video, etc., get in touch with me, get a hold of us. On the first few slides, I told you how to get a hold of me. It's going to be one of those things that's off the menu. Quinn, I don't need a site registration for that. They'll just get a hold of me. That's the way we've always done it. And we'll do a calculus prep class. I have a teacher that will help me with it. Let's give him some work this summer. What do you say? STEM projects and field trips. We have a very nice schedule for those coming up. Local college tours, CSU Long Beach, CSU LA, or Cal State Los Angeles, excuse me, and LMU, and one other to be done. I want to do 4 colleges. I have a surprise. I know what I wanted. I'm going to state out loud. Listen to this, Brianna. I'm going to state out loud what I want to do. I want to get on Amtrak and go to San Diego. I'm bad. I'm a bad man, y'all. I'm a bad man. Love to take 5 to 10 seniors with me down to San Diego. And they do have summer classes. You know, all right, checked. And maybe over to USD, have Uber, will travel, get back on that Amtrak and come on back. Parents, I'll hold the cost down for you. I'll see if I can I can. I visited CSU. I can subsidize it with the grant. Isn't that nice? So I do want to do that. I put other TBD because I'm gonna need a lot of staff support to pull that off. I don't want to drive my staff crazy and say it in public before they have a say on how I do it. All right. We're going to have great parent information sessions connected with that Summer Algebra Institute with speakers that we can only pay for in the summer, which is really cool. Absolutely cool. Okay. That's the Summer Algebra Institute. I think it's only going to be about 45 or 50 bucks for them to do the thing because the grant's covering just about all the costs. I actually have one large grant with CSU, one very small one that will subsidize it. But that's a good place if you're a senior to strengthen your skills. You cannot be too strong in math or writing. A lot of you will feel you don't need to do it in the summer, but I really seriously vote against that. Okay, let's continue. You'll need individual application support from either me or Brianna or Quinn or somebody. Your essay development assistance, we stand by ready to help you to pick your essay. to review it and do your final essay edits. We want to be right there with you on it, parents. It's just a very, very minimal amount of support. Did you know there's some essay services that charge $500, Brianna? 450,
Yeah,
500.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very expensive, but we have a lot of experience here, the two of us plus one other. We can help your student with their essay to get them started and produce an essay that's a winning essay that will be very intelligible for the college admissions departments. All right, so application delivery planning, we can help you with your list and keep your list updated and maintained. I'll show you more about that later. Application account setup, all these things we can assist with. CSU application delivery, FAFSA planning and delivery. Cost is way low compared to private consultants. And these consultants are cutthroat. As I told you last week, I get somebody every year, haven't had it happen yet, thank God, that comes to me and said they've already paid for a consultant thousands of dollars and they're not getting the support they need or the people don't know it. There's a lot of retired teachers out there that think they can help with applications, but this is a highly specialized area, so specialized that I have people under me that specialize in various areas to get me over the hump. So I'm telling you, it is not as easy as it seems to put together a good application and to put together multiple good applications. Okay. So depending on what you do, we're probably 50 to 450, depending on what you want. I mean, if you have 30 schools on your list, obviously it's close to the maximum. And some of you may only be CSUs and one other school. That's fine too. Summer SAT support. Yep, there's a test on the 20. Oops, that's wrong. It's the 22nd. Sorry about that. It's August 22nd nationwide SAT. Some of you may know, oh, you made a good jump there, Maya. She hasn't been feeling too well. She jumped up on the desk with no problem. Okay, very good. That's a good thing. I've been praying for her. The test is Saturday, August 22nd nationwide. It's best for higher GPA students. It helps with college costs plus admission in some cases. Because sometimes it's not really the admission that's the problem. It's going to be getting money. We will carry 10 persons in that prep, in person and online. The prep is on Saturdays, it's in person and online. On Sundays, it's online only. There are of course, there are spots remaining. We haven't enrolled for the August. We do have spots remaining for June, for the June SAT prep as well. Pretty much for May, you'd have to get in here today or tomorrow because I got to tell Princeton tomorrow by 10 how many spots we have. Somebody just registered. God bless you, whoever you were. You hear this email, hearing this video. But we're pretty much closing for the May, but get a hold of us. It depends, 140 to 260, depending on several factors, one of which is the school you're in. Here's additional ways we can help. We offer you help through Life Prep Academy. Eric Moore, he'll give you a free membership to it. It's an online academy for parents to learn all about career and college for their students. Okay. He'll present again this summer. It was very well attended last year. I think we had about 45 parents there. Not all from the summer program either. It's one of our CSU SEI parent nights for the summer, funded by that grant as well. College tour planning and counseling. I can help you if you're going to travel to a school. Get a hold of that. I may know someone, or at least I'll have advice on how to pull it off. There's a lot of mistakes that are made on these tours. Our website is a big help. It's go on there. There's a lot of good information. Look at our banners. Look down at our blog. Look at our articles we're posting. There's a lot of stuff in there. Our YouTube and Facebook, I told you about that, and Twitter and email. Okay. All right. Now, what slows or impedes the summer college application and the summer? What is blocking it? What are the challenges that keep students away from that in the summer? Well, summer jobs full time. Students feel they need money. They want to work. Parents think that's going to help in the future, and it will. I tend to think it's a little overrated. Because of what it takes time from. And I stated the things on the earlier view graphs I want to see them spending time on. College visit residential programs. You heard me say last time I don't like those very much. I don't think they're well supervised. But you might want to send them to visit a college out of town. They're very expensive usually. They claim they'll have scholarships, but they end up being pretty expensive. Multi-city college tours you may plan this summer. That will take a student offline a couple of weeks usually. Family vacations. The problem with tours a lot of time is it's a particular kind of school, right? It's not across different kinds of schools. If I go to DC with a group, I'm going to be looking at Howard, but I'm also going to look at GW, George Mason sometimes, or somewhere else, University of Maryland or something. I'm going to look at other schools. I'm only going to look at one kind of school. It is a situation where there's one school that everybody can go to. A lot of alums don't want to hear that, but every school isn't for everybody. There's some schools that are good for more people than others, for sure. When I went to George Washington, but I definitely don't think it's for everybody. Family vacations, parental visitation, these are all things competing for time. Visitation means there may be someone with custody who's out of town. Students got to go live with them for the summer. And everybody says they're going to work on applications. It never happens. Here's why. Not because the other parent is, blocking them from doing their work. It's because they have things planned for that student with their family. Remember, they only get them once a year. So be aware of that, parents. What does it mean if these things happen? It just means in the fall, they're going to be pretty busy on their applications, on their essays, especially if they have long college lists. I'll see a long college list of one of these things happening, and I realize it's going to be very difficult and stressful, certainly, to get everything done before Christmas. Athletic and art, some of you are shocked I said Christmas. I was talking about summer. Yeah, because if you start in September, you're going to school, it can easily carry on to. I've seen people doing applications in January still. Parental visitation, I covered. Athletic and artistic competitions in and out of town. If you're to travel basketball, travel volleyball, I've seen them all. Travel tennis, travel lacrosse, all those kind of things in and out of town. Busy all summer, it's going to take away time. Again, I'm not saying to quit these things. I'm saying be realistic about what you want to expect to get done. Well, yeah, I am saying review those activities and see if they're really something that's required. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat. My people will tell me, they'll see it and they'll let me know, right? They'll cut me off and tell me, or you could just cut me off and tell me. I know we can always answer a question. They're always very good. Church spiritual retreats. You might be surprised I put that up there, being a deacon in the church and running the youth organization of our church. But spiritual retreats often are long, like a couple weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes a month. And they can definitely take time away from doing applications, to which a lot of parents tell me, oh, well, they're going to take with them work there. Again, the camp has a very busy schedule for them. It's going to be hard to comply. All right. Here are the topics that I thought I was going to cover, but let's look at the next one. Yeah, in red, it tells what I'm going to do next. Sorry about that. So now we're going to cover all about CSU and UC. Okay? Let's start with CSU. A little bit about UC, to tell you the truth, but enough for you to know what's going on. West AEP application delivery support. All right, let's get into this. So we do help. There's a grade self-report. Then you just deliver the application. There isn't, listen closely, parents, everybody. There is no essay. There's no recommendation. There's nothing like that. It's not on the Common App, none of that. It's just a grade self-report, and it is gnarly, detailed, and you can make mistakes, particularly if you have college classes, AP classes, honors classes. If you have an F you made up, a D you made up, anything like that, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, and it's easy to mess up. But it's a self-report. Now, then you just deliver the application. Now, we help with that. We have an application data form you could fill out, and we'll do the self-report for the student or working with the student. I had 2 students come in the office. I just watched them do it and correct it as they worked. That's the way I really prefer lately here, by the way. But we support the student to make sure they're submitting a correct application. You'd be surprised how many have mistakes, and that's what keeps them out of CSU. Happens all the time. I get that call all the time. I've already gotten 2 calls like that. And then the application delivery process, we'll follow up with training for the student. Once they've delivered the applications, they need to be shown how to set up the portals and how to follow up. Again, I'm trying to show not only the CSU application plan, but how we can support you and help you. Wherever you see our little logo, that's what happens, okay? Where do CSUs fit in? State of California, public college universities, per the higher education plan for the state, Two-year colleges, there are 130, oops, there's 115 now. No, I gotta correct that. There's 115 two-year colleges in the state of California. They give transfer degrees for students to go to CSU and UC. University of California has 9 campuses. They take the top 10% of students. Now that's like an average, but there are 4, 5, maybe 6 UCs that have taken lately have taken the top 3 to 5% of students. So they're very, very selective research college. I think Berkeley took 2% this year. They're extremely, last year. These are extremely selective research colleges. First of all, it's still extremely selective means everybody not getting in. So you're going to hear everybody with their story how they didn't get in. And I think it's harder now that they don't take the SAT, right? For them to figure out, they probably get a lot of students with good grades don't make it. Okay. And then it's a research school, so they have fewer majors than most colleges. It's not appropriate for most students to go to UC. I know there's a prestige, UCLA, UC Berkeley, but everybody shouldn't go. They're research schools. I find my graduates of UC struggle a little bit more with finding work because they're really getting ready for a master's degree, right? Which you might say, great, I want them to have one. Well, but you want them to go to work and get out of your house, I hope. California State University has 22 campuses. Yep, 22, not 23 anymore, because CSU Maritime is part of CSU Poly. I'll say more about that in a minute. So they take the top 33 to 40% of students, right? Of high school students in your high school, you're at the top 33% could go to CSU, no problem. Okay. Here's the campus list. You see what I did with CSU Poly SLO Maritime campus. Then you have CSU Poly SLO. So I have them separated by region of the state. You can see them all here. I consider Bakersfield as a LA area CSU. I know it's a stretch, but it's under 2 hours. It's not like you're going to come over every weekend, though, I know. And then, of course, Southern California, I do count San Marcos along with San Diego State. Okay, let's go on. I put an asterisk on here next to my ones that are not in urban areas. Here's a chart I did not include last week at all. I think it should apply to 2 to 4 CSUs, but I've separated them by selectivity. The rating 1 and 2 schools are here. They require higher GPAs. I've adjusted these GPAs based on the lower enrollment CSU is experiencing, and it's therefore easier to get into some of these selective campuses. That's not necessarily true for these top 4, right? You still need to have pretty good grades just to have a chance to get in those schools. And that's the CSU UC GPA, which does give points for AP and honors classes. San Jose State, they used to be a little more selective, but they took students last year who were 3.0 from me, 2.9 even, and in San Marcos, 3.0. Again, as you look through the list, students and parents, and anybody seeing this video, they should apply up to 4 CSUs, in my opinion. Here are ones that have that mid-range rating, right? You can see they're all listed here, 2.6 or 2.5. Boy, this has really changed. We just don't have near as many admissions impacted schools right now. We do not. It's pretty easy to get into college now. I did a video on that a couple of weeks ago. You go on my YouTube channel, you can see it. I was telling that it's easy to get in and even speculating on why. Yeah, basically students do not want to go to college as much anymore. And there are reasons for that. There are reasons. Okay. We see it too. We see a lower amount of students we're helping with applications. We actually see it. Brianna, you have a comment on that, Brianna, or just curious?
Yeah, I think that a lot of students are not applying for college, are not interested because they have other methods of possibly having career. Like if you look at social media, a lot of people are like, maybe I might want to be a social media influencer, or there's other ways that people can make income. So people are not going the college route sometimes. So that's what I've seen as well, or I've seen people go back later. Also college is really expensive too. So that's another thing that people don't want to necessarily take out the funding for it, or and then some people don't see the point of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wow, there's a lot there to take apart, take down, and break down, but I won't. That also, too, I think there's a lot more people going to do work with their hands and learning skills, and they're making just as much money. And that goes to return on investment that Brianna poked around about how even CSU costs more than it used to, and that has a lot to do with it. But these low GPA targets are due to the schools needing enrollment. They actually need the enrollment. So anyway, what does it take to get into CSU? 2.5 minimum. I really think it's going to be, I really think it's more like 2.2 to 2.5, by the way. Test scores are not required for admission. Finally corrected this view graph. What about automatic admission? Yeah, that's a new thing in the state. There'll be automatic admission, depending on what, and it's dependent on what high school you're in and what CSUs are around. Like I know the people who are in Dominguez Hills uh, area, which is below the Imperial Highway, well, a little below the Century, out of San Imperial, all the way over to El Segundo, through El Segundo across that highway, um, are in south of that highway, are in their zone. So any high schools in there, like all the Torrance high schools, are going to have automatic admit to Dominguez Hills. Students will not have to complete a application. Let's just say it that way. They will have to go online and confirm that if they want to go in, they got to confirm that they see they were accepted and they confirm they want to go. There'll be a website for that, and we'll talk more about it when they drop that website. It's not dropped yet. So there's every CSU is participating, except the 5 most selective CSUs are not participating. Who are they? All the ones that students want. Care to take a crack at it, Brianna?
Sure, San Diego State's probably one of
That's
them.
right.
DSU slow, Cal Poly slow.
Yep,
Probably Long Beach State,
yep.
Northridge.
Northridge for many majors.
Okay. CSU Los Angeles.
You know, they were originally on that list. I gotta ask somebody why I didn't see them on the latest list that would not accept it. So I think
Oh,
they're now going to accept it. Isn't that weird?
yeah.
The other one's Fullerton.
Oh, Fullerton. Okay. I was thinking that or Sac
Yeah.
State. Okay.
So those CSUs, everyone listening and seeing it on online, those CSUs are not going to participate in the automatic admission, even for area students. So you'll have to still do a traditional application to get in those schools. But most of the CSUs will do some automatic admission of some sort. And I think that's remarkable. Again, it's part of the whole thing of improving their enrollment. They think if there's fewer hurdles, students will be more likely to come to the campus. I have my opinions, but today I'll keep them to myself. Ooh, this cat's jumping, boy. Wow. I was a little worried about old Maya. She got sick here. Okay. All right. Okay, let's continue. Okay, remember, it's only A through G subjects that are being considered. Look at the next slide. How is it computed? Okay, so parents, if I could give homework this, and students, everybody, your homework assignment is to order your transcript for 2.5 years and look up the cumulative UC-CSU GPA so far. Students, that will tell you how hard you got to work this semester. I need you, let's stop right there. Students, I need you to make grades a priority. There's 3 things I want you to think about right now after God and your family. Grades, grades, grades. Put down that cell phone, get out of that social media. What do you say? Let's get some grades. Come on. Let's get it done. This is your last chance to substantially raise your grades. Come on now. That's why I always love this meeting right here. Right at March, it's my last chance. If you want to meet with me for ideas how to raise your grades, I did a meeting like that yesterday. What a blessing that was. You need to get, okay, let me calm down. There is no reason that I know of. Everybody here hearing this, everybody online. At this point, you should have your processes down. You should know how to get an A or a B in every class. No C's. No C's. C's just, eh. All right, sorry I went off on the grades thing, but it has to happen. You got to have grades. Hey, by the way, they're getting grades. You can worry about who they is. They have no problem getting grades. What about you? Put down the phone. I'm not saying get off of social media. I'm saying control it. Just definitely control it. It's time to get grades. Anyway, it's going to be your cumulative UC-CSU GPA for 3 years. Right now, you're at 2.5 years. On the transcripts, it has other names. Sometimes you'll pick the transcript up, parents, and it'll say academic GPA, university GPA, or UC-CSU GPA, or weighted GPA. These are all the GPAs you look at for CSU UC. On the application, you're going to have to report the classes that are in progress and planned. So start thinking about what you're going to take next year. I'm available to help you. I don't want to see you taking a lot of AP classes. I know some schools are forcing you, but take the minimum if they're forcing you. Sydney still here?
I am.
Yeah, I'm praying for you. I'm worried about that part of it. I think they kind of make you do that over there. Kind of like, right? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue. Here are the minimum classes needed for CSU. We covered this last time. The only comment I'm going to make is make sure that you're getting Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry. A lot of counselors are saying you don't have to take Algebra 2. They're lying, or they don't know. Maybe they just are not aware. Some of them are consciously doing it, and I'm really upset about that. Data science does not replace Algebra 2. Sorry. It could be the 4th year of math. How's that? Or quantitative reasoning, whatever. So nothing's controversial in here but that. Why CSU? Well, students are accepted to many CSUs, 10 to 11, with GPAs of 2.2 to 2.5. Tuition is 11% to 15% of the cost of many selected private colleges. I think USC's tuition is a good example. The CSU tuition is 11% of what USC is. Excuse me. That's a private school. You can pay nothing out of pocket for a local CSU. It's very possible. Even for middle class, of course, yes, I'm counting the student direct loan that could pay all your fees. In general, CSUs are more ethnically diverse, more majors than other schools. It's way more majors than the UC. Again, UC has the prestige, but I just want to tell it like it is. Students often say they want to stay close to home, and that's why they went to CSU. They'll say that. They'll be in the state anyway. There are many types and sizes of CSUs. There's large, medium, small, 22 campuses in various settings. Okay? That's why CSU. All right, you guys, Quinn, you watching the chat, right?
Yes.
Okay, stay with me now. Application timelines and processes. California State Universities, here we go. Period is the 1st through the 20th of October. That's why I want to see everybody do their CSUs, and you'll learn about it. Some of them, like in 3 weeks, they'll tell you. You go to CSU Apply, grades are self-reported, no essay, no recommendations. Transcripts are not required unless specifically requested. Okay, let that sink in. But for Common App, they are required. Talk about that later. Here are the common reasons for non-admission or non-enrollment to a CSU. Let's stick to non-admission here. all the CSUs on your list are very selective. The student GPA is too low. So let's say you're 2.9 and you have San Diego State on your list, CSU Long Beach on your list, Poly San Luis Obispo, and Fullerton. Newsflash, you're not going to go to CSU. So this is why you want to work with someone like us to make sure and look at your college list and make sure that your CSUs you pick are correct given your GPA. Now, I have charts on the other page that I showed that will be very helpful to you. The student does not regularly read their emails. Students, if you're not reading emails right now, this could be you. You'll miss valuable emails if you just don't look at email that much. You look at text and social media and other things. Maybe look at email when you're sending one, whatever, or for school, right? But you need to regularly read your emails. That's how the CSU is going to communicate. And now listen to this. I mess around with the wording for this every year. I hope I got it right. I think I did. Due to the distractions of others' preferred colleges you might prefer, the student does not properly set up information or follow portals using initial emails from CSU. In other words, you're wanting to go to Howard and, I don't know, Morehouse or San Diego. No, not San Diego State. I can't say that. Or UC, right? And you're really into those. And yeah, you applied to CSU, but you prefer to go to one of those other schools. What happens is students, one of those schools don't come through, or they're not affordable, and you pivot to your CSUs, haven't been checking your email, and you miss stuff you had to send to them, and you don't end up going to the CSUs you want then. So I need you to be very attentive in this process. I'm telling you way ahead of time, and I'm going to remind you about it if I'm working with you. You need to look at your emails regularly. I'm seeing that right now, this second. It's impeding two of my students. SLO asked for students' first semester grades. They wanted them by March 1st, Brianna. They called back for my request and they were disengaged. Because they're not pressed. They just go right to the next student. They make that part of their decision process. So anyway, grades are improperly self-reported in the application. That's a common reason, right? And the A to G requirements are not met. Listen to this, or grades are not properly replaced. And it's because of bad advice by counselors. It's a common thing. And it's very subtle. Like usually it's related to they're telling a student if they get a C in the second semester, they can ignore a D or an F. And in general, that's true in only 3 types of subjects. It's not true in all subjects. And then like in biology, you have to make up that D. But in chemistry, you do not. And a lot of times they don't know those subtleties. And my goodness, it keeps the kid out of school. Also, the foreign language, I see it a lot. They need 2 full years of the same language. So I'll see ESL and then Spanish, and they fail the last 2 semesters. Say, well, I have 2 years. I have 1 ESL and 1 Spanish. That was one last year. And they didn't get in. I had to call and pull strings and got them into CSU. But it was a mess and they were really upset. So that's a common reason that there's not admission. All right, let's get back to now the next topic. See what I did is I put them up, all of them up again. And now I'm going to talk about the UC application process. How does the common application work, et cetera? Here are the UC's admission windows that I think that I'm seeing kind of right now. I'm using more so the information from last year, but I did adjust a little bit in one case. So you can see right away you need to have higher grades to get into UC because they can afford to not admit you because they're not hurting for enrollment except for Merced. They're right now, I see the other UCs are diverting students to Merced, but y'all don't want to go to Merced, so I don't know, maybe you do, but I put about 3 students there, Brianna. One of them is working for the government as a research biologist.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Working for Livermore Labs. Crazy, huh?
Well,
Whatever he's doing, he can't talk about it though. I wonder what you could do about it. Never mind. I don't want to even think about it. Anyway, you can see it's harder to get in UC. I had a student this year, 4.4, about 7 AP classes, got in every UC they applied to, except for Berkeley. Why didn't they get in Berkeley, Deacon? I don't know, man. I don't know. Could be Berkeley had more. It kind of, Berkeley and UCLA kind of go back and forth with who's more selective. Maybe this is a tough year to get in Berkeley. I guess. We think, Brianna, that's the only it could be, right?
I've heard that from other like other people that are helping people with college applications that Berkeley has been more difficult this year.
What do you got to do? Bring a gun? Got to break in there? We got to go ahead. Oh, I have the Lexus talking to me. Like Lexus talking to me. Anyway, so I don't know what happens there. I don't know. All right, let's talk about how we can help. Here's your delivery plan for UC and selective private college. I used to do these separate, but I decided to put them all together to show my high GPA students what it looks like, what it's going to feel like. What does one want? What does the other not want? And this is one where the animation really helps. You see the full slide right now if you have the presentation. But we have selected private college and UC. Now we have a grade self-report in the case of UC, you'll see in a minute, but not for selected private college. You just write the essays. Sometimes on the Common App, they do ask for your grades in the first 3 years. Most times they don't. That's because they're going to get a transcript. You'll see in a minute. And then you can deliver the application. Usually you got to put it together, right? You got supplemental essays. I'm not telling the whole story, but that basically is the straight line process to do a selective private college application on Common App. More on Common App in a minute. Now, there are teacher recommendations and transcripts that are needed in the case of private colleges. Now, I put the CSU in dashes because a lot of private colleges are optional. And to get in, you can get in without the SAT, but let's see you get money. And that's why I put EEP over the SAT, because we do SAT prep. And on the transcripts over to the right, you will want our support to make sure you deliver those properly, okay? There are a lot of ways to deliver them improperly. And we also do delivery oversight. You see right over here. We do delivery oversight for the transcripts to make sure they're done properly. Again, I'm trying to superimpose how we can help. UC and Common App essay startup and support, we do. There's an essays. There's 4 personal insight questions for UC. We can help you with that, students in the summer or late spring. Yes, they have announced they're keeping the questions the same. Next year, they're changing their questions, Brianna. So for class of 2028,
Oh, I didn't know that.
they're changing them. That'd be a whole different set of questions.
Good to know. Yeah, I saw that everything was the same this year when I checked the other day.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. The grade self-report is UC, that's what they do. You report on your grades. It's a little different, and I think a little easier than the CSU one. But the same problems there. If you have a failed grade or college courses, this is where the mistakes can occur with UC. UC does not require a transcript either. Whereas selective private college, look up there in the black, it does require a transcript. Okay? So that's why I like to show them laid out together. Where the commonness is down below. You're going to do your essays first. You're going to do those essays in the summer, and we love to support you on those and keep you on track with that. Okay. A lot of times high schools will have workshops in the summer, but the difference with them is they won't follow up. They don't give you any kind of deadlines. They don't create any kind of structure for you. We do that. We work with you. We talk to you about your essay. Today, we may want to see a draft on a Tuesday or Wednesday. We don't horse around. We want to get those things done in a quality way and put away for the application delivery. Speaking of the application process, here's a good overview. I think I covered this last week, but I want to say something different about it now. So you'll make the decision on which schools you're going to apply to. I wish you'd use facts and data. I wish you'd use the unweighted and weighted GPA, SAT scores, family income, and all your career possibilities. This is what we're here for again. We can help you to figure your list out based on that. However, often counselors and family will have suggestions, and student and counselors will have their research they do, like what schools have your major. I think that's improper to make that the only factor. In fact, it'll drive you crazy. What if you have hundreds of schools that have the major? Never attend school because of major. Listen closely. Attend a school because of career opportunity. Hey, can I start my career at this school? Don't just go, oh, do they have my major? And in some cases, that's really going to hurt you for cost. Now, I only will go to a school that has an undergrad veterinarian major. Wrong. You get any kind of degree, you got to go to vet school anyway. You got to take the MCAT too to go to vet school. Bet you didn't know that. All that stuff is a problem that you have to deal with. Anyway, you don't need the degree. I see it. I also see it with other degrees too. It has to be a certain degree, or they think they can't actually do the core. That's one I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, if I don't get an architecture undergraduate degree, I can't be an architect. All right, listen here. I have 6 students that are architects. None of them had an undergraduate degree. Because you got to go to architecture school anyway. I had 2 of them did studio art. They did what do you call it, interior decorating before they went to architecture school. Those are examples of how we get too hung up on the degree. All right, then you do a college list. And if necessary, notice how I put that. Common App essay, UC essay, supplemental essays. Okay? I don't show CSU on here because I was more, as you know, we're discussing UC now. I thought I would show again the private with the UC because that's more, you did it again. 3rd straight jump. Okay, I guess, why did the cat wait till I got in here so she was well now? Anyway, okay. UC and private college application completion. And then you want to decide which ones are early action. That's November 1st to 15th. And then which ones will be regular action applications. Okay. When and how do I get started? How can West A help me? Career versus major. I might have time for a word about that. We'll see. What is a college readiness conference? You need it. I haven't done it. Oh, wait, that's not true. I've done 2. I'm expecting coming out of this meeting, those of you who are seeing this video or in this meeting, I want to sit down with you and do your preliminary college readiness conference. You sit down with me and or Brianna, and we go over your choices. Here's what we do in the meeting. Let's get into it. You meet with the EEP team, student and parent. It's a meeting. After a preliminary meeting with parents, I like to talk to parents first to determine the parental affordability goals and expectations. It's going to be on Zoom or in-person parents. Before the meeting, the parent will provide the latest. That's right, I do have a couple I've done. I think the Griffiths are in that category. Hey, Griffiths, we're due for a follow-up, yes? I think we are. I think we're due for a follow-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the notes in front of me, but I think we said about a month. So we should probably meet real soon to see what we're thinking right now, all of us. Before the meeting, the parent will provide the latest full transcript of high school performance, which I have in y'all's case already, right? Here's what will be discussed at the meeting. Here we go. Here we go. Career discussion with the youth. Oh, that's all. Preliminary college list is formed and discussed. Affordable college additions and recommendations are provided by EEP. And we'll offer and provide recommended college delivery schedule and a plan. So we'll make a plan up. The second meeting is where we do it. Usually one we do here or later. We'll deliver an application delivery plan to you to show you how we've planned out the delivery of the applications. And that's a preliminary plan because it could change. Things that colleges could be added or dropped, but at least we have something we're starting with. And it'll be on Google Drive so we can all make input to it and add things. EEP will offer to college. Okay, and then a plan of summer activities, something new. I'm going to provide that. Here's what I think you need to be doing this summer, that kind of thing. When is a college list too long? I just ran through this last week, but I'm going to take it a little more systematically. The amount of time available in summer is a clue to how long the list should be. but it often is inverse. Students don't have any time in the summer, then I see they're applying to 30 colleges in the fall. I wish that we could start earlier on these multiple applications. 15, I think, is a lot. We really need to start working in the summer. Now, all these schools that get out in May, there's no reason why we can't start applications early, especially with all the stuff that could be happening in the summer that I listed out before. Often I see lists of 15 to 30 private colleges and 0 time in the summer. Recommended guideline, I think 4 CSUs is a good guideline. If you can afford it, I think it's great. Now, we get a certain amount of community-based fee waivers from CSU. If you come in early enough, we can help you. 2 to 4 UCs if eligible. If eligible, what, Deacon? No, if eligible for UC, right? If they're not eligible for UC, why waste those 2 slots, right? 4 to 6 other colleges, and that could be out-of-state public colleges, selected private colleges, other private colleges, or Black college. Notice the dollar signs are proportional. Those are proportional dollar signs I've shown there, okay? All right, so that's a good college list in my opinion. So that could be that's 14 schools maximum, right? It could be as low as 10. One year I helped a student apply to 5 colleges, and he's gotten college affordably. He's having a great career. And he was a 3.9 student, Brianna. That took a lot of, he said he didn't have a lot of time to horse around, thinking, which one should I do? I didn't let him down. It's a challenge, actually. Here's what you should be doing right now, parents and students, determining how we can help. Okay? Don't go it all by yourself there. So the college readiness meeting is one thing we want to do. And I list again what I need for the meeting, what we should start with. 3-year transcript, in this case, 2.5, right? SAT scores, preliminary college. So you can bring a list there, it's optional. Organize for the application to deliver CSUs by October 1st. You want to order your FAFSA username and password. I'm going to talk about that right after this. Submit your FAFSA October 1st to 10th, or we can submit it for you however you want to do it. Common App essay, UC essays, college application list development modification. And we're going to do customize, if necessary, customized application support agreement we can do this year. I'm going to get back to that in normal order. Okay? Out-of-state public university, remember we talked about this last week. Here's what we consider to be the 5 different types of colleges. Out-of-state public, California State, early action private colleges, positive Christian colleges, and then University of California, and then of course the regular period private colleges. So here's kind of let me get this in here. September 15th is typically when they start. October 1st to 31st is when they start. And right there, you can learn about a lot of your admissions super early in the process. Because there's colleges in both these types that will let you know 2 or 3 weeks after you apply. So there were students in my program that by November 1st, they knew they were in several schools. Early action private colleges, early action and Protestant Christian colleges shall all be delivered the 1st to 15th. And we're going to have a Christian college fair again in October. I'll say more about that in a video, then we'll cover the next meeting. A lot of you need to look at that as an alternative because they're the most affordable private colleges. And there's other reasons you should consider them too. Don't worry, I'll let you know that. Universities of California, there's 9 of those, November 1st to 3rd. Now, you can do the essay now, but the application doesn't open until November 1st. You can't deliver it to November 1st. Okay, regular period private colleges are going to be the 1st to the 30th. Hopefully you will not go into the new year. These 3 types of colleges are the ones where you have essay development. We could provide one-on-one support for that, no problem. And on this blue disc here, we're trying to show we do application delivery support as well. Okay? Okay, here's an overview of the admissions process. It's a data-driven college list. You'll have application acceptances. You have FAFSA submission of financial aid award. Then you'll accept admission, look at that award, do your cost trade-offs, and you figure out where you go to school. I used to take like 4 view graphs to show this process. But this is really the college admission process. That's how you decide where you're going to go to school. We can guide you through all of that, right? Okay, now we're going to look at the FAFSA stuff, okay? I can see that I didn't do good enough on time to do what I wanted to do, but that's okay. All right, it's the 2728 FAFSA is what we're talking about. Wow, time has flown for me. I can remember when I was doing it for the 9091, I think is what I figured out. Woo. Anyway, 2728 FAFSA, there's a student section that's got to be filled out. And there's also a parent section, which is shown above, the parent FAFSA section. It's done in 2 sections. We'll say more about that later. The 2025 federal tax information is going to be automatic. I should put automatically there. Let me write that down. Okay. It's automatically loaded while you're doing the FAFSA. When you're doing the parent section, the federal tax information is loaded into the FAFSA automatically. So we no longer need to send tax returns. We'll say more about that in a minute. And then there's a financial aid award. Now, for some people, there's going to be a CSS profile financial aid form. It's another financial aid form above and beyond the FAFSA. There is a review process for it that I won't get into today. It's not necessary, but they're going to require you to upload your tax return to that for 2025. Notice that, parents. So if there's anybody out there who hasn't submitted their 2025 yet, or of course, many of you have not, you want to get that in on time. It could affect the FAFSA. Even if you owe, get it in because it does affect the financial aid process potentially. The financial aid award is going to be given after the CS profile is reviewed and the FAFSA in the case of the CSS profile. The CSS profile is a College Board document. I'll say more about it in a minute. There's an important aspect of it you need to start thinking about. Then you have a non-custodial parent. Aha. So if there is a separated parents, the other parent has to submit their tax information too, in most cases. There are some schools that do not require it. Now, the FAFSA doesn't require it, right? It's only with the CSS profile. So beware of the non-custodial parent. So if there's a parent that you don't think will be cooperative, the other parent you don't think they'll be cooperative, they could stop your student from getting financial aid. So make sure you plan a list of colleges in that case occurs that does not include the need for the non-custodial parent. There's a lot of great private schools that don't look at that. It's about 640 colleges that do non-custodial. The FAFSA facts to consider. FAFSA's free application for federal student aid, FAFSA, not FAFSA, FAFSA. The FAFSA for 2027-28 is based on 2025 income. Let me let that sink in. It's going to be based on the 2025 income, not the current year. So if you lose your job right now, theoretically, it's not based on that. It would depend actually on how long you're unemployed, a lot of other factors, and depends on the school. All schools don't look at that, but they only have to look at 2025. The first date for filing the 27-28 FAFSA, believe it or not, is October 1st, 2026, which is this year. We recommend that all FAFSAs be filled out October 1st to 31st, 2026. Colleges no longer require the tax return. I know when you went to school, parents, they required it, not true anymore. The tax information for parents will be uploaded during the FAFSA filing. Some selective private schools also require a financial aid document called the CS profile. Now, here we go. Listen closely. The CSS profile process may require information on the divorced or separated non-custodial parent also. The FAFSA only requires information on one parent, FAFSA. When they have that CS profile, schools are going to wait to have information on both parents. All right, there's some rare cases you can waive it, but it's getting harder and harder to waive it. So even if there's not a requirement with that parent, I think it's unfair, but private schools may make it difficult for you. It's a good possibility of that. So if anybody out there is seeing this video, you have more questions about it, get a hold of me. This is a real hole in the process here. The FAFSA is not wholly user-friendly. It's highly likely you'll make a mistake if it's your first time, but usually the mistake is not critical, but sometimes it is. So I don't like FAFSA's being filled out, even the student section without the parent there. They don't have to put any financial information in, but there's questions there. Here's what you'll need to file the FAFSA. FAFSA username and password for youth and parent, 2025 federal tax return, then go to www.fafsa.gov. If you're filing your youth's FAFSA yourself, go to the following document online. You can go there, look at it, look at that yourself. Mistakes on the FAFSA. Remember, we file them too. Mistakes on the, I think I'm going to do that like oftentimes to the church. People can just come in and they can do it in front of me, or I can file it right while they're waiting. Mistakes on the FAFSA also happen in the follow-up phase when colleges ask questions or you think you need to make a change and you go ahead and make that change. Big mistakes occur. Please, no youth should file the FAFSA without you being around. Do not have a commercial service or the high school file your student's FAFSA. Get a waiver and waive out of the school process, because they're going to get all your personal information and they make big mistakes all the time. If you're hearing this video and your student is a foster youth or other independent status, man, do not use the school. Every year I get cases where they make mistakes. I also see it when there's non-custodial parents, and I would not have the school, some teacher or counselor doing that. You file your FAFSA, get some help. All the colleges local have somebody you can go in, they'll help you. Or I'll help you. You have me, right? Other considerations. Order your username and password today. I know you're thinking it's kind of early. I have 2 good cases this year where students didn't do it to the last minute, and they found out that there's been identity theft of their FAFSA account. Somebody set up a FAFSA account using their Social Security number and date of birth. And it took us a month to clear it up. Look how late we delivered the FAFSA. It was due March 2nd. So you want to find out all this stuff early, do it today. You create an account going right there, or just Google FAFSA account creation. Boom, it'll take you there. The important thing is to test your username and password once you get it. Make sure it works. It's the only thing that delays FAFSA the most. It's the one thing. We can help, right? Okay, again, both student and parent must create a FAFSA username and password. Each person should use their names as they appear on the Social Security card, not the nickname everybody calls you. So you got to look at that Social Security card and see what your real name is. About every year, somebody looks at that and finds out they have a different name than they thought. But that's the name you got to use. This comes up a lot with divorce, like parents have changed their name, they tell people, and that's fine. But the social, and they're in their driver's license, but the Social Security card was never changed. So really, you have your divorce name, your previous name is still on there, or vice versa, right? The name may be hyphenated. I see that a lot. It's hyphenated and nobody knew it. After marriage, or still the one prior to marriage. This is really important that you do this early, parents. You do it like soon. So when you get into trouble, you can call me. We don't have a lot of pressure. We can get it done. When making the FAFSA username, keep it simple. Our format recommendation, keep that FAFSA username simple, would you? Especially if I help you, I got to type all those letters in. I think the first initial, the last name, and 4 or 5 numbers is okay. You can put an exclamation point at the end, that's fine. You don't have to, just the username, just keep it simple. How about your FAFSA password? 1 capitalized, 4 numbers, and 1 special character. That's it. Okay? I don't know. You decide what you want to do. You could have 4 letters, 1 capitalized, 4 numbers, and 1 special character. Okay? How to stay in touch with us? Well, we told you that earlier. There they go. That's how you stay in touch with us and find out what we're doing. And you want to do that, okay? Okay. Somehow I did it. Stop the share. Any questions? I went to that rather quick. It seemed like it was quick, but it was a lot of information.